In today's video, how quickly does your metabolism adapt? Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul Ravella from ProPhysique.com, and lately I've been getting a lot of questions from you guys regarding metabolism. Now we're in a period of time where some of us are getting less activity, some of us are getting more activity because we're kind of stuck at home. And just depending on how our lifestyle has changed, for those of us that had high activity jobs, we're now sitting at home. For those of us that had low activity jobs and now we're home, maybe with our kids, moving more, there's some changes going on. So I've been getting this question over and over, and I want to kind of address the idea of metabolism, what it is, and how worried we should be about it's adjusting, okay? Because slow metabolism is a common complaint. I see it on all the rags at the magazine saying, you know, fix your metabolism, restore your metabolism. And this is actually something that I do as a coach. I mean, one of the things I really pay attention to is how good of a metabolism a client has. It's a very good predictor on how weight loss is going to go, especially for those of us that compete in like a physique sport, because we have to diet down to very low body fat levels. But for anybody that's worried about metabolism, that's what I want to discuss here. And first, I kind of want to just go over what metabolism is, because we hear the word a lot, but it encompasses so much. It's very dynamic, it's very big, but it's also very basic. Metabolism is all the energetic processes that are going on inside our body to keep us living, okay? And the majority of our kind of energy expenditure throughout the day is called basal metabolic rate. And that's all these processes that are going on, things like breathing and circulation, okay? So those are processes that are involuntary. They happen, and that is the bulk of our kind of calorie expenditure throughout the day. But even our basal metabolic rate can be impacted by what we do with our bodies, with our lives, okay? There are other things that make up a smaller portion of how much energy we burn throughout the day. Things like thermic effect of food. When we eat food, our body has to break that down. That chemical process is negative energy, okay? So we're losing energy through that. So that's actually one of the smaller portions of energy that we use throughout the day, is breaking down our food to be used as chemicals. There's also NEAT, or non-exercise activity thermogenesis. This is another small portion of our daily routine that it's kind of involuntary movement or exercise. It's something that we don't think of as exercise, but actually is kind of movement. And then there is exercise specific to playing a sport, or perhaps to exercise to lose weight, build muscle, these type of things. Those are a much smaller portion, but our basal metabolic rate makes up the majority of that. Now, when most people come to me and they tell me, well, I've got a slow metabolism, the first thing we have to do is identify why they think that is. And I'll list a study below where they took some obese people and they put them in a metabolic ward. And these people had identified themselves as unable to lose weight on very low calorie diets. But once they put them in the metabolic ward, they found that these individuals were underestimating the amount of food that they were taking in by about 47% on the high end, and they were overestimating their exercise output by as much as 75%. And I'll list that link below so you guys can read through that. But this just tells us that sometimes we don't conceive of what we're doing. So the first most important thing I do as a coach working with someone is I want to discuss with them, how detailed are you being? Because a lot of us feel like, oh, I'm eating healthy, but unless you're tracking, you're not actually really being that accountable. Only once you've tracked food very specifically for a very long period of time can you get to a level where you can probably not track, eat intuitively, and do a very good job of guesstimating, okay? I can give myself as an example. For years, I thought I was doing well. I thought I was eating healthy and I was working out, but I could never really look the way I wanted to look. It wasn't until I hired a coach and really focused on hitting my daily macros, hitting some cardio and being specific. And lo and behold, voila, I was able to diet down and get on a bodybuilding stage. But doing that made me really realize how many things that I didn't realize I was putting into my mouth on a given day. Drinking calories, a handful of peanuts, just snacking here and there, cooking food with, let's say, oils instead of 0-calorie oils. You don't realize how quickly these calories add up. And when you're trying to lose weight, a few hundred calories a day can be all it takes to prevent you from seeing that progress. So the first thing that we need to determine before we realize our metabolism is slow is, how detailed are we being? Now, even if you are being really detailed with your diet, another thing to consider is that we're putting a lot of trust in food labels. Most of us are either going out to restaurants and looking up the nutrition values and saying, oh, that's what this is. But understanding that unless you're making the food, there can be a huge variation in what the chef is putting in your item. There's also quite a few companies with lawsuits over label claims that they've claimed what's on a label is wildly inaccurate. And some of the smaller food companies within the fitness industry I've seen have reports of underreporting calories by hundreds on a single item. And so as a coach, the one thing that I like to say is, well, let's try preparing all of our own meals for the week, and that should really help us determine exactly where we're at. So the question then becomes, how long does it take for our metabolism to adapt? Assuming that we have a good accountability for how many calories we're taking in, we have a good accountability for our exercise and our routine, and we know what our baseline is. How long does it take a metabolism to adapt? So here's what I'll say. The further we are from our baseline weight, now our baseline weight is our body's happiest place, okay? That can be very hard to determine for some people, but for most of us, it's probably the weight that we hung around, after high school for a couple years before life started happening and we started gaining weight, right? So our happy place, the farther we are, the metabolism in my mind when I'm working with someone will adapt less the further we are from that. Meaning, assuming you haven't gone through a lot of calorie restriction in your life and you've just been eating your entire life, I can take someone that's say 30, 40, 50 pounds or more over their kind of happy place weight, and I can create a caloric deficit and a cardio and a workout plan for them, and I can expect them to lose weight for 6, 8, 10 weeks before I need to adjust anything. Does that mean that the metabolism has not adjusted during that time? No. What it basically means is that we're seeing enough of these processes happening at the same time. We're losing fat, we're adding lean body mass potentially. That is one of the ways you can actually increase your metabolic rate, is by adding lean body mass. It's just very hard to do that. It takes a long time. It's much easier to add body fat. So sometimes that can be a difficult process to determine which is happening. But when we're farther from our kind of happy set point, we will see that we're able to not make an adjustment for weeks and weeks and months. Now, my first time I dieted down for a bodybuilding show, I started around 235 pounds. I dieted for about 14 weeks before I had to make an adjustment. Not till I got down to close to around 212, 213 pounds did I have to start adjusting. Now, once I got there, and once I see clients get closer to their ideal weight and then push past that, then we can see adaptations that are occurring almost 2 to 3 weeks apart. So every time we make an adjustment, well, the body's going to adapt to that. Why? Because once you get below your happy place or below your normal set point, things start happening hormonally, sleep gets interrupted, you're gonna burn less energy because you're gonna start to conserve it, even if you don't realize it. Some people will increase their cardio, but decrease their NEAT. So they're basically just keeping their energy balance the same. These are the tricks that our body plays on us. You'll find yourself just walking into the pantry. You'll find yourself snacking. And if you're not getting as much sleep, that can have a negative impact on things like cortisol. Cortisol can have an impact on your hunger. So overall, the body does not care about us getting shredded. Our body and our brain are determined to keep us alive. So pushing through that barrier means there are going to be more frequent adaptations. So how quickly does your metabolism adapt? I would say if you're at or below your normal set point, it's probably going to be weekly, every 2, 3, 4 weeks. When you're farther away from that, you can get away with sometimes 4 to 6 months if you're really obese. But if you're closer, it might be 4 to 6 weeks. It might be, 6 to 8 weeks at a time that you can create this deficit. But our bodies do adapt to that, because why would our metabolism adjust and be slower? Well, we have less total body mass. Okay, so it requires less energy to do that. Our body also gets better at things like digestion, okay? It can change our gut flora and how we process food. So there's a lot of processes going on. Remember, I said it's very simple. If you look at the equation of how many calories you need a day to maintain your weight and how much energy you're burning, you can create a deficit. But even within that, there is still so much complexity that will allow us to make progress if we're paying attention. But you have to be honest with yourself. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me today. Hopefully this answered your questions. If you have any more, send me an Instagram direct message, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.